I've put together 34 lessons that if you understand and use properly, guarantees that your channel will blow up with only a few videos posted. And I say that with absolute confidence, as one of my students literally just did exactly that after posting only 4 videos. By the way, I'm Archer, and I've monetized about 20 YouTube channels over the last 8 years, and in case you don't believe me, here are some YPP welcome emails, some of my channel analytics, and my Google AdSense account earnings going all the way back to 2021. YouTube algorithm lesson 1. YouTube has a 2 to 4 hour and 3-day testing cycle for small channels. At the 4-hour mark on the first day of posting your video, an initial impression test is usually ran, as you can see from all of these examples. If that test does poorly, the next 2 days you'll likely get very few impressions. But then between days 3 and 4, after YouTube has kind of figured out the new audience to trial your videos on, YouTube will run another impression test. I'm not making this up, here are literally 20 examples of that happening across different channels that I own and some of my clients' channels. So make sure you're keeping track of your videos around those points in time, because you'll likely get enough click-through rate data to decide on whether to change your title and thumbnail or not. YouTube algorithm lesson 2. The YouTube algorithm is very fast to learn in 2025. That's why Primate Economics and Miu here blew up after only 1 video posted. That means if you've posted over 50 videos and your channel is not growing, which I measure by a trend of views per video and daily channel views, not subscriber count, then either your videos suck or you're posting content that is too varied, which is confusing YouTube about who to recommend your videos to. Algorithm lesson 3. You don't need to start your channel on an aged account. YouTube gurus have been telling people for years to age an account first before posting, or to even buy a random aged account. This is complete BS. Yes, historically, YouTube heavily favored accounts with activity history for anti-spam and quality control reasons, but today YouTube uses AI to interpret a video's originality, which is a way better system than relying on a channel's viewing history. There's also more layers of verification that you can manually complete to build your channel's trust score, such as uploading your government ID or a video of yourself to verify your channel. These factors combined eliminate the need for you to age an account before you start posting. And if that doesn't convince you, look at all of these channels which blew up after only posting a couple of videos, and all of them were created recently. Essentially, the less repetitive your audio and visuals are, and if you verified your channel, the faster YouTube will risk promoting your videos. If there is still an advantage of posting on a slightly aged account, it disappears after you've posted 3 or 4 videos. YouTube strategy lesson 1. Copy people outside of your niche, not inside your niche. Other creators in your niche are most likely to have seen videos similar to theirs. That means the inspiration they take is from those videos, and they'll copy successful thumbnails, titles, and video ideas from that niche. This isn't a good idea because all of the viewers in that niche will have already seen that style of video because they also get recommended mostly videos in that niche. So this won't help you stand out or feel original to your viewers. But if you copy people outside your niche and convert their successful video styles or thumbnails into your niche's context, that video format or thumbnail will be new to your viewers, and that novelty will help increase your click-through rate and watch time. Algorithm lesson 4. Creator collaborations and shoutouts are really dangerous. I realized this in 2019 when aspiring YouTubers wanted to pay me money for community post shoutouts or collabs on one of my Reddit channels. When you do a collab or a shoutout, that causes a sudden view surge to your channel's trailer video and the most recent video that you uploaded. If those 2 videos are not the exact same style of content as what the other creator you collaborated with makes, chances are you'll get really bad data from those viewers and it will crush your videos. In the worst case scenario, if that surge in views is bigger than your channel's normal video viewership, it might actually kill your whole channel because there's suddenly an overwhelming amount of bad viewer data for the algorithm to absorb. So if you're going to do a shout out or a collab, make sure that the call to action is actually framed clearly so that only viewers who like you and specifically watch your style of videos already go to check out your channel. Strategy lesson 2. You need to build or at least adopt an audience culture. For example, my channel Chinami takes on the persona of a teen who's really enthusiastic about cute innocent romance, and that resonates really well with the audience, so the comment section is super wholesome. Building an audience culture gives your channel its own momentum because viewers are more likely to chat together in the comments, which gives you better engagement metrics. And this goes for both talking head and faceless channels. YouTube algorithm lesson 5. Don't buy a pre-monetized channel thinking it's going to help you get a head start. Pre-monetized channels use YouTube view farms, which means you have no control over the viewer data you get, such as the country that they're from, what age group they are, and most importantly, what other videos that view farm has watched before they watch your video. This is critical because YouTube uses a viewer's watch history to determine what kind of video the content you post is and who to recommend it to. So if the view farm has been botting YouTube kids brain rot content and then you buy a monetized channel and start posting gaming videos, the algorithm will crush you. There's also a risk the person who sold you a monetized channel could steal it back from you because they officially have the original ownership of the account. Just remember that if your content is good, your channel will grow and you will achieve monetization quickly because the estimated YouTube wait time for actually getting into the partner program is massively over-exaggerated, and these days, chances are, once you've applied, you'll get approved within 7 days, and if it's not your first monetized channel, then you usually get approved within 48 hours. Algorithm lesson 6, do not buy views or subs. Mostly for the reasons I just described about buying monetized channels, but also because if YouTube detects botted views or subs, your account could be banned. Algorithm lesson 7, being first to a niche is the #1 predictor of channel growth because YouTube has a massive bias towards pre-existing channels with lots of upload history to go off of. Being second is great, every niche has space for at least 2 or 3 channels, but being 10th to a new niche, which is trendy, is too late. So if you watch a video that an AI YouTube guru posts about how to grow a channel in a very specific niche, like all of these examples, it's already too late. Because not only are there a few existing channels making it hard for you to grow, there's now going to be dozens and dozens of copycat channels popping up over the next couple of weeks using AI, which will completely drown out any videos that you upload. Don't waste your time watching those AI guru videos or trying to make copycat channels unless you're the first person to find the new viral niche. Algorithm lesson 8, YouTube is cool with AI now. Mostly. YouTube has accepted that AI is now mainstream and only going to become more prevalent. That means AI channels will get into YPP as long as they don't violate any of YouTube's guidelines. Creating content lesson 1. Visual hooks are way better than verbal hooks. It's better to show to your audience what is going to happen in a video than it is to tell them what's going to happen, because people's burden of proof is usually them being able to see that thing. That's why I showed you all of those YouTube Partner Program welcome emails and channel analytics. I didn't just make a hollow claim about monetizing loads of YouTube channels. The best hooks are those that are both visual and verbal, and when those two stimuli match together really well and in a way that makes sense to the viewer. YouTube algorithm lesson 9. Metadata and SEO is irrelevant. YouTube figured out years ago that people would spam keywords to trick the algorithm, so they replaced metadata and SEO with spoken words in videos. So if you want the algorithm to actually correctly categorize your video, make sure you say words relevant to your video and niche. Creator mindset lesson 1. Numb yourself to failure. YouTube is pretty nasty on the psyche. That's why so many YouTubers burn out and quit, like Tom Scott or Natasha Roshan, or they keep taking massive breaks like Grade A Under A or Gary's Economics. When you post a new video, that red or green arrow can sting a lot. So instead of letting it affect you, deploy mindset lesson 2, which is to be curious about the data, not emotional. Explore why your video is performing poorly or really well, and be keen to learn and improve. Remember, it's just a YouTube video. It's not that deep, even for me, and I do this full time. Mindset lesson 3 is don't tell anyone about your YouTube channel unless they can be trusted to keep it secret and to give you constructive feedback. I learned this the hard way because I first posted Nerf gun themed short movies in 2011 and I got absolutely annihilated by bullies at school and on Facebook. That ruined my confidence, and I didn't post another YouTube video until 2018 when I was in university. So there's enough criticism between your own internal monologue and the criticism you'll get from commenters on your videos. You do not need more people commenting on your channel, especially people you see every day. So if you do want to tell someone about your channel, wait until you're genuinely proud of what you've achieved and wait until you know they'll be impressed. Strategy lesson 3. Don't listen to YouTube gurus who don't show real proof of results, and you should avoid watching channels which use super fast retention editing and very brief screenshots which may have been manipulated to give the viewer a false impression. You especially shouldn't listen to channels who only make videos commenting on how other people's channels have grown really quickly. They have no idea why that channel grew or how to replicate it. If they did, they'd be able to show you proof of them doing it. And that brings me to strategy lesson 4. The fastest way to grow your YouTube channel is to get someone who has done it already multiple times to help you, not by watching hundreds of YouTube advice videos. And yes, I realize the irony of me saying that to you during this video. The dream outcome for you should be to get some great starter information from free videos from YouTubers that you can trust, and then by paying them to give you a tailored strategy for your specific channel. And if you want me to help you grow your channel, you can click the link at the top of the description and we can hop on a Zoom call together. Anyway, strategy lesson 5 is your audience don't know what they want. If you ask your current audience what kind of videos you should make and give them a poll of 3 or 4 options, the overwhelming majority will always pick the option that is exactly the same as all of your previous videos. The problem is your audience don't have strategic vision. They don't know what videos will perform best in the algorithm, and they don't know what videos your hypothetical future audience want to watch either. So they won't suggest anything new, and if you follow their opinion, your channel will stagnate and decline over time. So don't ask your audience what kind of videos they want you to make. Making money on YouTube lesson 1. Placing more ads on the timeline does not significantly impact viewer attention unless it conflicts with the style of video or you place them within a shorter than 90-second frequency. For example, if you place lots of ads on a meditation video or a fall asleep video, yes, it's going to impact watch time because it disrupts the piece and purpose of the video. But for every other type of content, it's fine to place lots of ads on the timeline because YouTube won't even play all of the ads at all of the slots anyway. That being said, a small caveat here though is if your channel is able to earn a lot of money outside outside of AdSense, then it could make sense to completely turn off ads or only run ads at the beginning and the end of the video, since that doesn't impact viewer retention much. Which brings me to making money on YouTube lesson 2 and 3. For any branded channel or channel that has on-screen human talent, AdSense could be the smallest part of your YouTube revenue. Therefore, always plan your channel's potential revenue streams before you start posting, as this will help you foster the right culture and produce the right style of content, which will make it easy to sell to your audience once you actually have enough views. YouTube algorithm lesson 10. It's practically impossible to change niches on a faceless channel. Faceless channels' popularity rely on the content itself, not the personality creating the content. That means it's almost impossible to bridge your audience from one niche to another because they don't care about you. They only care about the current form of content that they're actually watching. So it's important, if you start a faceless channel, you pick a topic or structure that has loads of depth and content potential. YouTube algorithm lesson 11. Don't test YouTube's rules. If your channel is in a YouTube grey area, then you're at the mercy of political pressure or legislation shifting, which forces YouTube to develop stricter policy. That could mean anything from your channel being demonetized, to getting hit with community guideline strikes, to video takedowns, or full channel suspension. All of these have a negative impact on the algorithm's perception of your channel and could potentially cause sudden overnight drops in viewership when the changes occur. This happened to my first monetized channel on text-to-speech Reddit content, which was demonetized for being automated and resulted in me losing $3,000 a month in passive income. I've also had psychology channels being demonetized for being too controversial, and I've had copyright strikes from reaction content. YouTube algorithm lesson 12. The YouTube support team is hit or miss. When you need to appeal something on your YouTube channel, like a guideline or copyright strike or demonetization status, YouTube's support team is pretty robotic and dumb, which makes a lot of them very stubborn. If you don't get the response that you want from one of them, wait a few hours or a couple of days and try again with a different YouTube creator support person. If that still doesn't work, go to YouTube's official Twitter and tweet at their support team. Someone will actually reach out and DM you and will help you solve your issue. This is actually how I recovered one of my channels after a scammer hacked it, and it's how I managed to get this silver play button behind me for one of my channels, which YouTube kept refusing to approve because I had gotten one community guideline strike 4 years before I hit 100k subs on that channel. Strategy lesson 6. Your titles need to be bold, simple, and short. The longer your title is, the more confusing your messaging and the less likely the viewer is to read it at all. Also, on mobile, you can only see the first 60 characters of a title, so if a key part of your title is between characters 61 and 100, the viewer won't actually know what your video is about, so they won't click on it. Your titles also need to be bold because there's so much content out there that you're trying to compete with, and in order to succeed, you need to promise big in your title and then deliver bigger in the video itself. Strategy lesson 7. Subreddit and YouTube commenters have no clue how YouTube works. The people who spend time replying on comment sections are not creators. They're viewers, and they're just as confused as you are. That's why they're watching videos about how to grow a YouTube channel or reading posts about it on Reddit. Unless it's me, because sometimes I do post on the YouTubers subreddit for brainstorming ideas. Creating content lesson 2. Writing is king. Everything else is secondary. Whether it's a song, a comedy sketch, an accounting tutorial, or even a gaming video, writing is the most important part because it has the biggest impact on the viewer's experience from an emotional standpoint and from an understanding and informative standpoint. Your ability to explain, to tell stories, and to immerse the viewer all comes down to writing. Everything else is just the icing on the cake. Which brings me to production quality lesson 1. Technical production quality does not matter, unless your channel is about technical production quality. If you make videos about videography or cameras or how to make short films, you better make sure you have a great camera, good lighting, good angles, and good editing. Because without that, essentially, you will have zero credibility because even you can't do the thing that you're describing in your video. But for everyone else, production quality lesson 2 is, if your production quality sucks, make it a feature, not a hindrance. For example, most Bro Science Life videos are one camera angle and onboard camera audio. This fits the channel's vibe of just a guy in the gym who's a bit of an idiot doing stupid things. The moment you change that production quality, like they tried to do when they tried to do a proper web series funded by Dwayne Johnson, it felt sterile, corporate, inauthentic, and it got loads of hate. Creating content lesson 3. Write your hooks first, because your hook is the sales pitch for your video. If it's not great, there's a million other videos your viewers could go watch that are just 1 or 2 clicks away. So before you waste time creating a video you think is good, make sure you have a great hook for it first. If the hook is not absolutely fire, don't even bother creating that video yet. Creating content lesson 4. Write your script or video narrative now, but proofread it later. Often the first time you sit down for a writing session, there are loads of good ideas flowing, but you join them together in a really sloppy way because you haven't spent enough time actually thinking about it, and that becomes very apparent to the viewer. So after you've outlined your video or taken a first attempt at writing the script, let the idea sit for a couple of days. Then come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes. Reviewing your script in a new environment can help as well. So when I'm proofreading and editing scripts, I always go sit out on our balcony, which is full of plants, and it helps me feel a little bit more creative than when I'm sat in my studio writing. The neuroscience of this is novel environments temporarily improve neural plasticity in your brain, which improves your ability to think more broadly and be more creative. Hiring lesson 1. Hire fast, but fire faster. When you hire a freelancer, it's probably because you're too busy to do a task or your current team are too busy to do that task. So hiring quickly is necessary to not cause any production delays, but it's also necessary to hire fast because slow negotiators are slow workers. If a freelancer isn't responding within a few minutes of each message that you send them on a different recruiting platform, that person is not hungry and they do not take their work seriously. You also want to hire fast so you don't waste your time training up freelancers who are not actually cut out for the job. If you get a sample from a freelancer that's completely wrong, just toss that person out immediately. And if you get a sample that's most of the way there, give them clear instructions, and if they do not resolve everything in that next submission, just fire them and move on. This brings me to hiring lesson 2. You cannot teach someone to be a good writer, because writing is inherently creative and you cannot teach that. However, you can teach someone to be a good editor, because editing on most channels is very procedural and prescriptive. Hiring lesson 3. More money does not equal better quality freelancers. Some freelancers are able to charge a lot because they have good branding, like they're a middle-aged white American who went to college. That doesn't mean their work's going to be any good, but it does mean that their appearance commands more money on an online platform. Also, some freelancers charge a lot because they target really large corporations who hire freelancers and are kind of ignorant about competitive pay in the freelance market, so they overpay all the time. Then that freelancer applies to your role with a really high hourly rate because all their previous work is corporate related. This does not mean their work's good, but then on the flip side of that, extremely cheap freelancers always suck. There are no good writers charging $20 per 1,000 words, but there are absolutely bad writers charging $100 per 1,000 words. Strategy lesson 8. Don't ask people to like your video. It ruins the flow and there's no incentive for the viewer to do what you tell them, so they won't bother. Some viewers have a habit of liking videos and others don't. Nothing you do is going to change that behavior unless you actually give them a clear incentive. That's why if you watch this video next, I can guarantee you'll get over a 10% click-through rate on all of your videos.